for coming out to support Pat and his campaign. And also today you're also supporting, of course, local Kenosha veterans, which a portion of the proceeds are going to. He's the only man running for mayor this time around who has on-the-job experience, so we don't have to train a new mayor. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for a new man, for a new direction, for our mayor, Patrick Moran.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 1988 I had run for mayor, and like Ralph had said, I walked the walk. I've got the on-the-job experience. And before coming into office, they had what they called the Focus 2000 study. And in 1985, 1986, they asked the city of Kenosha, where would you like to be in the year 2000? And there were three objectives. Number one, develop the lakefront. Number two, economic development. And number three, enhance the image of the city of Kenosha. And what we set out to do with the help of Alderman Casey, who's in the crowd, and he was really a visionary and still is, we developed the lakefront. We built the marina. We cut a deal with Pleasant Prairie to allow the city of Kenosha not to be landlocked like Racine, and we're able to move out to I-94 and beyond. And we enhanced the image. One of the toughest decisions that we had to make, and Case could attest to this, is when we were at the Gateway Auditorium in 1988, many people wanted us to sue Chrysler. We said we can't sue Chrysler because we just cut an agreement with Pleasant Prairie to give them the sewer and water to develop the Lakeview Corporate Park. And if we were to sue a private company, capital comes where capital is wanted, and no company would build in Kenosha. It'd be very difficult for a long time. And the plants that are at Chrysler today, those two engine plants, would not be there. That $500 million investment, guys like Casey and ourselves didn't have the strength and conviction to say, no, we're not going to sue them. We took the heat, but we took the leadership position, and we might get that Phoenix line in Kenosha today because of that decision. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate that very much. So that Focus 2000 study was a contract with Kenosha. We didn't call it a contract, we called it the Focus 2000. Today, 20 years later, in 2008, I feel I'm a new man for a new direction, and I want to make a contract with Kenosha. Again, I want to put the issues on the board that I want to promise you I'm going to try to pursue and fulfill for you if I get the opportunity to serve the city of Kenosha once again. Lowering property taxes, increased public safety, and economic development once again. This one credit card that I have here off to my left is the City of Kenosha's credit card. Now, the City of Kenosha can spend $250 million. Actually, it's a little over that. It doesn't mean you have to put everything on the credit card and spend and spend and spend. Right now, we have $143 million on our City of Kenosha credit card. Some of the money that was put on there, I think, was unnecessary spending. I like museums, I'm a teacher, and I like libraries. But to spend $15 million on a Civil War museum and $7 million on a public museum and $4 million on a dinosaur museum, and then we have the County Historical Museum, I think that's a lot of money to spend. I think that public safety should be first. I think we have to really limit and look at very carefully what we spend our money on. $142 million in debt is a lot of money in which to be in debt. The other placard that I have up here is my tax bill. Now, the City of Kenosha is one of 5 taxing bodies that tax your house and bring in the real estate taxes to run the city or the county, the schools, Gateway, and the state of Wisconsin. Now, the city is 1/3 the size of the schools. So therefore, you would think that the portion of your real estate taxes going to the schools would be 2 times as large. My tax bill for the City of Kenosha was about $200 more than what I paid for these schools. When I look at that credit card once again, you have to really examine very carefully if we're getting the biggest bang for our buck and there are prudent dollars being spent on quality of life issues, but you can't have quality of life if you don't have public safety first. That should always be the #1 priority of a city. Fire, police, ambulance, public safety first. When I talk about public safety, Kenosha has 26 square miles of city in which to patrol. When I compare crime rates between Kenosha and other cities in Wisconsin of comparable size, Kenosha does fairly well. And I'm proud of the job our good men and women in uniform do for Kenosha. We have an excellent fire department, we have good paramedics. What concerns me is when I look at statistics over the last couple of years, these crime rates are going up. Unfortunately, 2 months ago, my daughter, who works at a convenience store, was robbed. The guy put a gun to her head. 8 policemen were dispatched to the store. Do you know how many policemen we had on the street patrolling 26 square miles of city? 16. 16. Racine has 10 fewer miles of city to patrol. They had twice as many officers on the street. So if 8 officers are dispatched to the convenience store on the south side of Kenosha, that means you have 8 patrolling the city. I think that has to change. I think that's a priority that has to be addressed. And when people in Union Park are afraid to go outside on their porch in the summertime because they feel threatened, I think we need more boots on the ground. I think we need more police officers. I think that we need more public safety. Last but not least, business park plan. Now this was a good example where the mayor and the city, they're developing a new business park, industrial park by the airport. And what they're doing, instead of borrowing the money and putting it on the credit card for the city, it's a pay-as-you-go development, which means the private developer borrows the money, the taxes that are generated on this new development, the city reimburses for them to pay off the loan, they bring in jobs, they bring in economic opportunity, and this is the way things should be done. We have to work with business. We have to treat them as our partners because private enterprise is the engine that drives the train. That's the lifeblood of any community. So as mayor, I would continue to work with the